Jack Ma was not born rich, he was not born lucky, and he was not born with any special advantage. But what made him different was that he refused to give up even when the whole world told him he wasn't good enough. In fact, his story begins in Hangzhou, China, where a small boy grew up in poverty, dreaming of speaking English and connecting with the world beyond his city. He would ride his bicycle every morning to the hotels just to talk with tourists, not for money, but to learn English for free. He taught himself by speaking to strangers, by reading, by failing again and again. And this was the first sign of what made Jack Ma unique. His hunger to learn when no one else believed he could. When he applied to schools, he failed twice. When he applied to college, he failed again. When he applied for jobs, he was rejected over and over, 30 times, and still he did not quit. He once applied for a job at KFC. When it first came to China, there were 24 applicants. 23 were accepted, and Jack Ma was the only one rejected. Imagine that moment. Everyone around you is accepted, but you're told you're not good enough again. Most people would stop there, but Jack didn't. He turned rejection into fuel. He decided that the world would never again decide his worth. He would, after finishing college, he started working as an English teacher, earning just $12 a month. But even then, he was building something priceless: communication skills, confidence, and vision. He saw the early power of the internet when he visited America in the 1990s. He typed the word beer into a search engine and found no results for China. That was the spark. He realized that China was invisible online, and that opportunity was waiting for anyone brave enough to take it. He went back home and told his friends that the internet would change everything. They laughed at him. No one believed that computers and cables could make money, but he did. And so in 1999, with 18 friends in his small apartment, Jack Ma started Alibaba. He had no money, no coding skills, no business degree, just a clear vision that small businesses in China could sell their products to the world through the internet. The early days were brutal. No one trusted him. Banks refused to lend him money. Companies mocked him. Competitors crushed him. But he had one thing they didn't. Faith, he said. If you don't give up, you still have a chance. Giving up is the greatest failure. His words weren't theory. They were survival. When Alibaba almost went bankrupt, he didn't run. He faced his team and told them to believe. When investors said no, he told them one day they'd regret it. He kept building brick by brick, failure by failure, until the world finally noticed. Alibaba became the face of e-commerce in China. It connected millions of small businesses and created a digital revolution. Jack Ma became a billionaire, but he never forgot his rejections. He once said, "I failed a lot, so why can't you handle failure?" His story isn't about success. It's about how failure built him, how pain made him powerful, and how rejection turned into resilience. He often tells young people, when you are small, you have to be very focused and rely on your brain, not your strength. That's how he built Alibaba, with ideas, not money, with faith, not luck. He believes that leadership is about inspiring others to see what they can't see yet, not commanding them. And that philosophy helped him build one of the most valuable companies in Asia. But even after all the success, he remained humble, funny, and grounded. He once said, "Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine." That's the mindset of every winner. Persistence through pain, vision through darkness, and faith through failure. Jack Ma's life is the ultimate reminder that you don't need to be born rich to die successful. You just need to stay in the game longer than everyone else. His failures: Harvard rejection 10 times, job rejections, business collapses. They weren't barriers. They were lessons. Every no he heard became a step toward his yes. And that's what most people never understand. Success doesn't come from intelligence or privilege. It comes from endurance. Every time life hit him, he got up, smiled, and said, "Try again." Jack Ma's story teaches us that being underestimated is a gift because it allows you to surprise the world when you win. He turned every rejection letter into a reason to grow, every failure into a new skill, and every setback into a comeback. Today, when you see him on stage, smiling and telling stories, remember that behind that smile is a man who faced more failure than most people can imagine. But he turned his wounds into wisdom, his doubts into drive, and his fear into faith. His wealth was never the goal. Impact was. He wanted to help small businesses grow. And that's what made Alibaba a giant. Not greed, but purpose. And that's why, even after retiring, he continues to teach, inspire, and push people to believe in themselves. He often says, "Don't compete with others, compete with yourself." And that one line captures his life perfectly. Jack Ma's journey from a poor boy in Hangzhou to a global billionaire is proof that your current situation does not define your future. Your mindset does. And the secret he wants everyone to know is simple. Failure is your teacher, not your enemy, and persistence is the real wealth. If you want to win, you have to start even when you're not ready. Speak even when you're not confident, and believe even when you're not sure, because the world only rewards those who stay in the arena, not those who watch from the sidelines. Jack Ma stayed, he endured, and he built his destiny. Not because he was lucky, but because he refused to quit. So the next time you face rejection, remember Jack Ma and his words, "Never give up." Today is difficult. Tomorrow is worse. But the day after tomorrow will be beautiful. And if you keep going, that beautiful day will come. Not by chance, but by choice.